that this will work today. So let's call on the technology guides to support us, guide us, direct us. Oh man. Okay. All right, so here I am. Sorry. Little details, little bizarros, things. And as I'm getting all things situated, I need you all to know that today my son is home and my father-in-law is also here. He does pretty good, but he has Alzheimer's, and so let's just hope that this works. So my 7-year-old is sitting with my 83-year-old, and they're not mine, but they're the company that is with me today. For everybody who commented on and said just do what's best for me, I really appreciate that. And fortunately, I will. However, I have to also be completely transparent, and I think I've said this before, that it's really, I talked to somebody about it the other day, how depleting it can be to show up on social media, how it can fall flat. And not that it has to be amazing, however, the contrast between being live and in person and having a direct experience with the offering, both what you all show up with and what comes through me, is definitely a weird emptiness. So I'm just being completely transparent, and I hope that you all will also be transparent in your lives. So that's why falling in love is our theme today. The falling in love with yourself, with your whole self. We are entering Leo season, and Leo is the energy that is love, unconditional love for yourself. It is self-love. It is ruled by the sun, and that idea, if you can think of that Rumi quote that's not coming to me at the moment, of how much we can know that love is eternal, right? Like, be like the sun. Can't even think of it, so I should just drop that quote. But that ability to, the sun is a fixed star for us. We evolve around it as this great flame of fire. So in this fixed fire energy, today's class, I'm kind of jumping ahead, is still in water. It's this peak energy of water. It's this peak sort of, if you can think of a beautiful river finally making its way right before it gets to the ocean, right? Or this fresh water moving and blazing new pathways into the earth. And just before it hits like that infinity wall, before it capsizes over into the waterfall, because that is fixed water. So this cardinal water energy that's about to like pour into just this great offering of love. Okay? Just the way water nourishes, the way we feel safe, the way we come alive. So in that falling in love, you can think of that fresh water falling into a deeper depth of relationship and connection with your whole self. Your whole self includes the parts that hurt, the parts that are dark, the parts that are flawed, if there's such thing as flaws, the imperfections, if you will, the layers that we tend to keep hidden. So our class today is going to be a little higher volume because there's also a full moon mañana on Friday the 23rd. And so with this, for anybody who has birthday July 22nd or 23rd, or even the 24th, because there are some of you Leos out there, that means you're going to have a very illuminating year. This solar return will be very illuminating. So when we move today, we're going to work with this kind of momentum that's building, this sort of like, we feel that we're almost at the top of the mountain, right? We feel we've journeyed through the rivers and we've arrived. So let's do it. We're going to start standing up. And as we stand up, the other transparency is I've started physical therapy for my hip. Finally realized I can't do it all. And there's a lot of vulnerability. It's better, but it's just very tender and not 100% comfortable. So I'm loving these parts because they allow us to heal. And that's what water does for us. We're going to start standing. We're going to feel connected to the earth. We're going to feel the physical body and how there can be an outpouring of love that actually gets reflected back inward into the dark spots, into when we have discomfort in the body. Something I always ask people to do is just see that part that is in pain or misaligned, or it can be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. That grandness of light, that unconditional light that pours on us, that sustains us, that is so steady, is so consistent. Let it just pour into those areas, just like that fresh water navigating. So this is Teresa Phelps Martin. We're in the Soulfully You virtual group, and we are going to do some soul flow that includes the physicality of this strength and this intensity of water. Like, I love water. So let's go. I will have a block on standby, as well as a hair tie. Find your feet, ground into it, and we're just going to start off being fluid. So you're just going to bend your knees and rock and feel this movement swaying. So with this water energy, we will be working the psoas. Flowing, moving, we're going to call on the technology gods again, and just the guardian angels to keep my company, so that we can keep good company here. Feel the fluid nature of your breath washing over your being and your body, your essence. Feel the light, whether it's dark or you're in artificial light, feel how much light there is for you to tap into. That we can step forward with a truth and a connection to our whole self, and that we can fall back in love with ourselves, with one another, with the world. We'll call on the highest. You hold authority. You're in charge of you. Feel how much you may want to be rock steady, but let there be a fluidness, that you're not trying to just hold still, that you're unmovable, because it's almost like that solidity of the mountain, of that rock, that boulder that no one can move. It is so connected to its sense of accomplishment, its ability to stand firmly and strong and guiding us up that peak, and also allowing the water to flow over and nourish it and help its shape adapt and adjust and become soft and rich. From your heart center, inhale the arms up overhead, exhale over to the left. You're going to circle forward, so it's like a cat stretch. So around the back, hands point forward, bend the knees if you need to, and then reach over to the left. Inhale, rise all the way back up. So it's just a little circle movement. Inhale, lift up, reach over to the left, draw into the belly, circle forward, pause as much as you need to. Reach over to the right, Inhale, rise all the way up. Lift up, over to the right, circle forward. So really use that core, moving forward, over to the left. Inhale, rise. Now that you know the movement, right, feel how stiff and maybe unmoving your body is, and just invite in the light. Fall in love with all that your body and being has done for you. How much, because you've made your own healing a priority, that it serves you and supports you. Go over to the left, circle forward, over to the right. Inhale, rise. I want to do 4 today, so let's, I don't know if we've done 4, but let's just tap into it. And then going to the left, one more circle. It's really a half circle. And just getting that core to wake up, moving into the side bodies. Big inhale, arms overhead. Then bend the knees, bend the elbows. Open the heart, so you're pulling the waistline back. Drawing into that core, bending the knees, opening the heart. Full breath in, and then exhale. Fold forward, bent knees. Touch the hands to the earth. Inhale, straight up through the midline, because we want to feel the connection to ourselves. Elbows bend, knees bend, waistline draws back, shoulders draw back. Open the heart. Big full breath in, exhale. Bow all the way down to the ground. Knees bend, inhale, roll all the way up. Sweep the arms overhead. Bend the knees, waist back, thighs go back. Feet are grounded, legs are strong. Lift the ribcage up, open the heart. It's not about how big you make the movement, but actually how connected you are. Roll the spine up, big full breath. Arms go wide this time. Clasp the hands behind you. Bend the knees, step back with the left foot. Draw in, feel both legs straighten, feeling the connection to you, and then you're gonna bend the back knee. And just pulse straight up and down. Feel the connection of your inner thigh, your waistline, that fluidness. Maybe it was easy, maybe it was hard. And then we're gonna inhale, shift the weight forward, draw into the core. Keep reaching forward, 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 shoulders to the back. Hands to the earth, bend the back knee, straighten the front leg. Full inhale in. You can flex the front foot if you want to, pick it up off the ground. So when you re-ground it, shift the weight. Left leg lifts, circle the ankle. And as you circle the ankle, feel just all that blood flowing. You're gonna inhale, bend the right knee as much as you need to. Inhale the left leg wide. Exhale, pull it back to the center. Inhale the left leg out wide. Exhale, pull it back in. Connecting to that midline, inhale wide, exhale, draw in, inhale wide, exhale, draw it in, bow down, bend both knees, feet to the ground, elbows to the thighs. Pause, draw into the core, find the connection to you. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms reach out to the side, hands clasp, switch the clasp, shoulders to the back, lift the heart. Knees are gonna bend, thighs are back. Glide the right foot back. You're gonna inhale, straighten, so you can feel that pulling into the midline, leveling everything out. Exhale, lunge into the front knee, bend the back knee. Tail is tucked, and just pulse here. Feel the connection. Obviously, if pulsing doesn't work, let it go. 2 more. Stay with that core, tail's tucking, and then you're gonna inhale, straighten the leg, bend the front knee, pull the waistline back, pull the inner thighs back, but stretch into the front knee, out through the back heel, bow, 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 and then it's like you're on that edge of the waterfall. Fall in love with the earth, bend the knee, back knee, straighten the front leg. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Flex the foot if you like, and then replant it, grounded, shift the weight forward, inhale, so you can keep the knee bent. You can even find a block. Draw into the core, circle the right ankle, allowing for the fluidity, the flow of your own blood, your own oxygen. Then come back to the center, stay lifted to the core. Inhale wide.
Exhale, hug back in. Inhale wide, hug in. So what we're doing is we're actually just creating fluidity in the pelvis, but creating solidity in the legs. Keep the core strong. Come all the way back to the center. Big full breath in. You're going to bend both knees, feet to the ground, elbows to the thighs. I've not done huddle pose in a while. Draw in, stay connected, hug to the midline. And then inhale, come up standing, hands clasped back behind you. Shoulders to the back. Big full breath in. Open the heart. And then exhale. Hands slide down the backs of the hamstrings. Right? Finding that edge. Bowing into it as whatever comes forward for you. Inhale, finally. And then exhale. All the way back. Downward dog. Now here we are, downward dog. Bend the knees, find length through the spine. Connect to the core. And then bend both knees, hips move over to the right. Inhale up through the center. Bend both knees, hips move over to the left. Move from your core. So your arms and your legs are really, really strong. Your core is what's keeping it all together. Keep the rib cage in. Fill up the kidneys, the back body. Go to each side one more time. 4 is our number today, okay? So there can just be a wholeness, a foundation of wholeness, a foundation of falling in love with the parts of ourselves. Did anybody notice how one side was tighter than the other? Really appreciating the duality. Inhale, plank, knees high or low, all the way to the ground. Once you come to the ground, hands move back. Shoulders are into the back. You're going to inhale, lift your legs. Go wide. Anybody know this one was coming? Inhale, go wide. Pause here. Plug in more. So the shoulders draw into the back more. The core lifts up more. The thighs hug in more. And then inhale, come through the center. Exhale, draw into the core. Keep hugging into the midline. Inhale, go wide. Exhale, draw it back in. So 2 more. Just swimming in those fresh waters. Feeling anchored into the love you hold for yourself. Hands come under your shoulders, feet ground down. Inhale, curl up, cobra. Exhale, bow. Inhale, curl up into a cobra. Exhale, bow down. Keep the shoulders to the back. So there is an undulation of the spine, but there's a connection. The arms are really strong in a wave. Inhale, curl up, lift all the way up. Toes tuck, hips stretch back. So you're in that tuck to toe, wild child. Stay lifted to the core. Walk your hands over to the left. Hips stretch to the right. Getting into that side line, staying nice and connected to the low belly, the upper rib cage. Inhale, walk through the center, over to the right. Tail's tucked, side is long. And then inhale, come back through the center. You're gonna roll the spine up, standing on your knees. Stretch the left foot out to the side. Inhale the right arm up. Thighs are moving back, tail's anchored. Lots of lift through the core. So waistline's in, side body's long. Lift up. Feel that connection to that side. Inhale up through the center. Draw the left knee in. Right leg stretches out. Check the alignment. Lift through the sides of the body. So thighs are moving back, core's in. Rise up, reach over. Just waking up, getting a deeper breath. Feeling more connected. Inhale, rise all the way up. Both knees underneath your hips. You're gonna sit back on your heels. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find length. Bend the knees, elbows to the thighs. Draw in to that strong connection with yourself. Hug in, shoulders to the back. Inhale, rise up, arms sweep overhead. So you're gonna bend your elbows. Hands can come back behind the head if you like. And as you bend the elbows and the hands come back behind the head, draw the shoulders in, draw the core in, find length. Knees are gonna bend. Step the right foot forward. Shift the weight forward. Inhale, come into that warrior one. And then we're gonna exhale, step back. Sorry, that was warrior three. Now step back into warrior one. Shoulders draw in, find length. Open the heart, arms are gonna go wide. Clasp the hands behind you. Find the length, open through the heart. Straighten the front leg, thighs move back, bow halfway. Now, you're gonna feel pretty connected to the hamstring of your right leg. Lift into the core, shoulders drawn to the back. And then exhale, hands to the earth. Bring the back leg up, parallel, pull into the center. Find the length through the spine, stay connected. Bend the left knee. I'm gonna use a block here. Bend the left knee, draw in here, so the thighs are gonna come parallel, even out. Find the length, so hug into the midline, thighs are touching one another. Find that length. Now, what you're gonna do is just inhale, pulse, exhale, pull back in. Okay, you're working the inner thigh. Inhale, pulse, stay lifted in the core. Fall in love with the burn that's running down your right leg. Continue to draw the right outer hip back. Inhale, pulse, exhale, draw it in. Now you're gonna inhale, pulse, bend the right knee, stretch the heart forward. So it's kind of like a very restricted dancer pose where you're tipped over the edge. And then exhale, step the foot back, walk the hands back, shift the weight back, and tense leg stretch. Exhale, bow. Just clearing out. My stance is too short. And so sometimes if we make the stance too short, like, right? Has anybody ever felt like the walls are closing in on them? We block the flow of energy. Now we're gonna lunge forward, move the block out of the way. Walk the hands forward. I know that's not easy. If the belly's in the way, step it back. Downward dog. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Right knee to the ground, pivot the left heel. So you're gonna come into that side table, soften the rib cage, shoulders to the back. Bring the head, wrist or hand to the top of the head. Draw the shoulders in, stay connected to the core. Even that right shoulder draws in. Inhale the left leg, bend the knee, and just pulse the leg back. So exhale, pull it forward. Inhale, stretch it back. I know we love holding onto the foot, right? I want you to feel a little bit of the free flow of that inner thigh, how much it's helping hold it all together. And this time you're gonna stretch it back, bend the knee, shoulders to the back. You can go for more of a thigh quad stretch or both shoulders drawn to the back. Kick the foot into hand, hand into the foot, opening it all up. And then finding that little edge where you feel like you could fall, and you just fall into a greater relationship with the love of your own being, wherever you find yourself. And then exhale, free the foot, hand to the earth, move it all the way back. Downward dog. Inhale, come forward into a plank pose, knees high or low, all the way to the earth. You're gonna bend that left knee, hold on to the foot, shoulders to the back, draw into the core, and inhale into a half bow pose, half baby dancer that's falling flat onto the earth. Big breath in, big breath out. Now we're gonna lift the right leg, widen it out to the side for a minute, hug it back in, and then inhale, stretch the right arm out. Breathe into the back body. And then exhale. Hands to the earth, feet to the earth. Curl up. You can do upward dog. I'm just in cobra land. Tuck the toes. Move it back. Downward dog. Breathe into the fullness of your dog. That freedom that you can be steady like a mountain, but you're not so stuck in where you're going. I shouldn't say stuck, but you stay determined. Walk the hands all the way back. Bow into your standing forward bend. Bend the knees. Draw into the core. Elbows to the thighs. Pull into the center. Find a connection. And then inhale all the way up standing. Okay? You're going to find the hands. Lift up. Bend the knees. Left foot steps forward, maybe. Find your ground. Draw the waist back. Shift into warrior 3. So stay connected to your breath, your core, your rib cage. Stretch the arms out if you'd like. And then exhale, bend the knee, foot steps back. Hands go wide, interlace, draw in. So you're in warrior 1. Waist is back, tail is anchored, heart is open. Open the heart, open the chest. Stretch into the right heel as you lunge into the front knee. And then remember that idea of that fresh river flowing to the edge, right? And as it's flowing to the edge, it's about to tip over into a waterfall, but we're going to feel the steadiness of earth, of that light, that unconditional love. And then you're going to bring your hands all the way to the earth. Bend the front knee as much as you need to. Your core is doing more of the work than the hamstring. Bow into that intense leg stretch. You're going to exhale, lunge forward, hands walk forward, step back, downward dog. Inhale, plank, find that connection, knee to the earth, pivot the heel, right? So gotta love us some side table. Or, yeah, I call it side table. I know so many people call it side plank, but it's all good. Whatever you call it, you're doing it. You're loving it, right? You're on your mat, you're moving. So ground into the foot, shoulders to the back. Really feel a connection through the rib cage, through this core line. Hand can come onto the head or not. Stretch the arm long. And then you're going to inhale, lifting the right leg, bend the knee. And you're just going to inhale. I knew I forgot something. Inhale, pulse the leg back. Exhale, drawn in. And I knew I would forget something. Inhale, pushing it back. Drawing it in. Stretching it back. I'll get us there, don't worry. And then you're going to kick the foot back. Hand reaches for the foot. So again, you can go for the quad stretch, or you can go for more of a stretch to the front body. Anchor the tail, stay connected to the core, shoulders are into the back. And then you kick the foot into the hand into the foot, opening the heart up. I'm holding my ankle because my limbs are so long, and I need to create a lot of muscular structure in the body. I have hypermobility. And then as you exhale, free the foot. Hand to the earth, lift up. Since I've left it out before, left leg lifts. And then step the left foot forward, shift the weight forward. Okay? Find that block if you want it. Bring the thighs parallel. Bend the knees, lift into the core. You're going to stretch the heart forward. then just inhale, pulse. Exhale, draw in. So imagine you're pushing a mountain up, right? Sometimes when we reject or get angry or frustrated, and all those feelings are valid, but it's when we deny our reality. It can feel like we're pushing a boulder up a mountain. So I'm not asking you to be falsely positive of all that's being asked of us these days, but I am asking you to embrace the journey of your own life. Because those contractive parts are what is allowed to expand. Exhale, step it all the way back. Downward dog. Inhale, plank. Knees high or low, all the way to the earth. Find the ground. Bend the right knee, hand to the foot. Shoulders drawn to the back, so get both shoulders into the back. Both hips level. Inhale. You're going to rise up into this very restricted half bow pose, right? We're very, very contained. And in that container, we can expand. Inhale, lift. And we can expand with love and curiosity and connection. Unconditional love, right? It's just taking interest in the many expressions of ourselves. And then inhale, stretch the left arm forward. Breathing here. For some reason, this side is really, really hard for me to do. Meet yourself where you are. And then exhale, hands, feet, all come to the earth. Hands under your shoulders, roll the spine up, move it back, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Bend the knee, open the hip up. Right, stretching out and through the expression of you. And then exhale, step the foot through, pivot the back heel to the earth. Inhale, all the way to standing. Straighten both legs. Feet go wide. Turn the feet out. I'm going to keep my hands at my head just to stay aligned. You can stretch your arms out wide. You're going to bend your knees. All right, so find that goddess pose. Anchor your tail. You're just going to inhale, lift, and exhale, settle deeper. Inhale, lifting, exhaling, setting deeper. So there's slow, powerful movement. We'll go forward. This time you're going to spin the back heel, turn the front foot out, draw back into that core, lift up, reach back, reverse, warrior two. And then inhale, shift the weight, heel toe the back foot in, don't crash into the wall. Woo. Draw in, find length. Okay, I'm gonna have to use the window here. I'm so close to it. So once you're here, right, notice where your leg is in time and space. Find that relationship to yourself. And then from here, if it's accessible, bend the back knee, and you're just gonna pulse the foot back. So these tiny little micro moves, right? For a lot of reasons, it's gonna clear the hip flexor, so you don't have to do it. You might be like, she's just doing this for herself. Total transparency, I am. But usually what I do for myself serves you all as well. So now we're here. If you can find the foot, reach the hand back, find the foot, and then open. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. So Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Exhale. Fall in love with you. Free the foot. Step it back. Downward dog. If If you want to plank, chaturanga, cobra, or up dog, it's yours. I would rather, instead of be fluid right now, be nice and steady. Reconnect to the midline wherever you are. Then coming back to downward dog if you're not. Lift the left leg, bend the knee, open the hip. Stay connected to the right sideline of the body. And then exhale. Step the foot through to a lunge. Pivot the back heel down. Inhale, come all the way up. Turn both feet forward. Then both feet turn out. Come into that squat. Find your footing. Find your ground. Right? And just sway from side to side. Clear the hips out. If this doesn't feel right to go side to side, don't do it. Then find the middle. Anchor the tail. Draw into the core. Hands can be on the head again to keep the length, which I know I need. You're gonna exhale down and inhale, come up, right? So it's just finding the steadiness inside, remaining fluid. 4 little pulses. And then once you're down, pivot the back heel, turn it out, turn the back foot in, front foot out. You know what to do. Lift up, shoulders drawn to the back, reach back, reverse warrior 2. And then inhale, come up, shift the weight forward, inhale, half moon pose. And from that half moon, notice what your relationship is. You're in charge of you. You're the only one that knows what's going on inside. Bend the knee. We know this is going to be awkward, but just 4 pulses back. So you bend the knee. You're moving from the inner currents. You're loving the parts of you that are probably underdeveloped or just tired after 2020 and 2021. Push the foot back if you can. Find the foot, shoulders to your back. Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Opening in. Holy camoli. And then exhale, free the foot. Step it all the way back. It was better when I fell. Downward dog. Again, you can move through that plank, bending the elbows, coming to the earth, re-expanding the heart. And then move back into downward dog. And then we're going to walk the feet forward. Once you find your feet out in front of you, bow. Uttanasana. Bend the knees, elbows to the thighs. So we're doing a lot of huddle pose to stabilize because we still need to have the container for the river to flow, right? The energy to flow. Draw into the core. Our bodies are pretty resilient. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Dancer pose, Natarajasana, which is really about one foot being upturned to be receptive, and one foot still being grounded and anchored. Find the midline, the connection to your core. You're gonna bend, you can do whichever leg you want to first. I'm gonna stand on my right foot first, bending the left knee, shoulders to the back. Find your expression where you can just really be in love, not because you performed and produced, but because you can feel the expression in your being, just celebrating, being alive, being able to stand on one foot. Falling in love with the fact that you could fall over, that it may not feel as amazing as you always thought it would. Find another expression. And in that creative expression of yourself, you can respect the expression of one another. Plug the arms in, thighs in, and then inhale, come all the way up. hair up. It's driving me crazy. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead. I'm still trying to fall in love with my hair after 45 years. Oh, and don't say, oh, you have beautiful hair, because it has a mind of its own. Other side. Thank you, though. The curls are amazing, but it's also who I am. But there's just no control over them. Come back to the center, stand on both feet, find the midline, do the other side. Find the connection to you. Feel where you are on this side. Enjoy the duality. And find the pattern that you've already danced with. Open through the heart. Find the length. And in that expression, know that you can, there's so many expressions in your own self. That's why if you can love yourself, all the parts of you, you can appreciate the diversity that you see in the world because you see the diversity within yourself. And then inhale, come all the way up. Both feet to the ground. Arms overhead, big full breath in. Step the feet apart as wide as you need them to. Exhale all the way into Malasana. Lift through the heart, open through the chest, shoulders to the back. I'm going to take my block with me. You may not have one. Once you come with the block, you're going to bring the block vertical. Okay? So it's on the mat. You're going to lean back under, like right at your bra line, not below it. Right? You can snap your own bra. And then bring that thoracic, so it's the base of the thoracic, onto the block. You're going to lengthen through the spine, open the chest up. If the head does not make it to the ground, you're going to bring something under the head, right? And just feel this bigger opening. If you want to stretch the legs out long, stretch the legs out long. If you'd rather do bridge pose or wheel pose, go for it. There's a great book I recommend that I'm looking at right now, and it's hollering at me. It's by Debbie Ford, The Dark Side of the Light Chaser. A great book if you really want to understand how the patterns of denial and projection and perfection show up. And we have to love those parts of us. Actually, they're really healthy traits until they turn into defensive mechanisms. Hands come back behind the head. Lift the head up. If the legs are straight, bend the knees. Move the block out of the way. Come lying all the way down. I'm going to bring the block inside the knees into the chest, arms out to the side, knees go up and over to the right. It's a pretty decent twist. You can stretch the left leg out. Just keep twisting the belly to the left. Wrap the outer hip down. Keep the length, the right arm, left armpit's lifting up, shoulders are drawing into the back. Again, draw in, bend both knees, inhale back up through the center. Sometimes the block just holds space, right? Hold space for that love to flow, for that ability to feel supported, to feel safe. That's so important to feel safe in our bodies. I think that's like what I'm here to do. I was put on this earth is to help myself, first and foremost, because then I can help others feel safe in their own skin and bones. And when you feel safe in your own skin and bones, you can do amazing things. So you're in the twist to the other side, maybe the right leg straightens, outer right hip wants to hike up. So keep wrapping the hip down, roll the belly to the right. This right armpit's drawing in. So it's a big twist, but it's a good one. And then bend the knees, draw into the core, knees come back through the middle, feet to the earth. You have the option of doing shoulder stand plow pose. I know with the vulnerability of my back and just all the deeper minor work I'm doing to help clear this hip out finally, it's not an optimal choice for me. So I'm going to do the block under the hips. Right? I kind of just shifted into a much more restorative aspect of the practice. So meet yourself where you are. Trying to really be aware of the hip point and the rib cage, okay? You could stay there, the arms could be by your side, the shoulders could be to the back, the throat's open, we're not flat necked. The throat's open, the head is heavy. And then decide if you want to bring the feet up off the ground and stretch them up towards the ceiling. You could also go to the wall and do legs up the wall. The most optimal in the pattern of the practice we've been doing so far is to come into plow pose and then shoulder stand. And if you knew how to go bridge pose, shoulder stand, plow pose, shoulder stand, bridge pose, that would be the quintessential peak to this wave of the practice. Oh, totally overcompensating now. Now, if you're in plow pose, take one foot up to the sky. If you're in supported shoulder stand, you're going to bring one foot to the earth. Okay? And as you're in that play, plug in. Draw the thigh bones in. Use those inner thighs. Use the outer hips. Use the core. Open through the throat. Open through the heart. 4 breaths here. So amazing. I've been working all like tiny little movements. If you've ever done physical therapy, but in true Teresa fashion, I've added like 5 other things to the 2 things they've given me to do. Inhale, that one leg that was on the ground. So if you are in supported shoulder stand like myself, bring the foot up. If you are in shoulder stand and plow pose, take the foot down. Right? There's so many ways to express ourselves. And then you're going to switch sides. Just breathing. Feeling safe in our bodies is how we can fall in love, just FYI. So this practice of earth and water to prepare for fire season is really important. Okay? It's so important to understand the many layers, the different expressions of love, your own creative offering, and we can be creative and we can create when we feel safe and secure, when we feel held, seen, loved, nourished. It's why I'm just so in love with the zodiacal offering, the horoscope, which is just about the movement of time. So going to plow pose or shoulder stand or just supported. And And then you're going to slowly, if you are in shoulder stand, bring your feet back for plow pose. If you're in supported shoulder stand on a block like myself, come down to supported bridge. And then we're all going to articulate the spine vertebrae by vertebrae and move straight into Shavasana. So if you're on the block, lift the block up, lift up onto the heels. You can reach your hands back for your feet or just stretch the arms back. You're just going to come down vertebrae by vertebrae, articulating the spine. Right? Getting into the deep layers of the midline, falling in love with the depth, the darkness, the shadow, the healing. Once you come all the way down, make sure you come into a neutral spine. And then you're going to stretch your legs out. Obviously, if you need an adjustment to settle the system, find that adjustment. Fall into the earth. Fall in love with this moment of pause, of how much you've rejuvenated your being by twisting and bending and turning and folding and balancing and inverting. Opening the front body and the back body, the insides, the outsides. Just a journey of wholeness, of a connection to falling in love, not based on our accomplishments, but rather in the ability to just be ourselves. Don't get me wrong, that hit of accomplishment is pretty profound. That's part of the transformation, is to be more present. To be in a healthy relationship with ourselves, with the earth, with one another. And by the way, that does not mean we're going to love everybody. It does mean we need boundaries, space. We're all experiencing life from different vantage points. And those boundaries are a sign of respect and value. Valuing the other person and valuing yourself. So fall in love as the breath moves in and the breath moves out. Allow the breath to bathe over you. Breathe into the newfound depth that you've cared for, that you've nourished, that you've sat with a great sense of presence. A presence of love, that unconditional love. Your silly hair, of your long toes or your short stubby toes, whatever it is, circle the ankles, circle the wrists, reawaken. Stretch the arms out long. You're gonna bend your knees. Bring the knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Feel that fluidity that's available to you. And then we'll roll to one side. Stay there as long as you like. Or rise up into a seat. And in that seat, find length, find grace, find the gratitude. It's all just available to you. And I am grateful that you choose to be with your body in such a way that clearly, if you're doing yoga with me, I appreciate it. But there's something that aligns and you're honoring yourself. Eventually we'll all get together, I promise. It's building inside of me. I just have to get through August. Lots of changes as everybody goes back to school, and everybody is going back to school. So loving how much you've embarked and journeyed through, and how much your body has healed and shown up, how much your heart's been broken and restored, and yeah, that's what it is to be soulful, is to go inward and invite the light and invite it into those dark, deeper parts of yourself and live in a greater relationship to you where you feel safe. Doesn't mean it all makes sense or it's all figured out, but you feel safe enough to step forward with your true self leading you and guiding you and applauding the journey of one another, not because they're journeying the same way you are, but because they too continue to show up, and loving on those, not out of pity or sadness, but love on, offer the light, the unconditional light to those who weren't given the opportunity, the tools, and the resources to find that safety within. Okay, so I'll be back next week. I will be sharing the soul scopes tomorrow. The chances of me doing a talk on Leo season and the full moon are slim, but you never know. You never know. To all of you, live, replay, YouTube, if this makes it to YouTube, thank you. I appreciate you. And have a lovely, lovely Jupiter day, Thursday, or whatever day this finds you. Be well.